Proactive Investors back here at the LD Microcap Conference in California, and Bryan Ganz is with us, the Executive Chairman of Security Devices International. Bryan, good to meet you.
Good to meet you, Steve.
So, Security Devices International, tell us a little about this company.
Security Devices International focuses on what we call the less lethal space.
Okay.
And this is a space where we design ammunition to help law enforcement fill the gap between lethal weapons, their service revolver, and things like the billies club.
Your business is now changing its focus a little bit, still servicing police and corrections, but also you've gone on going to a new market.
We think that there is an enormous untapped market for private security and, most importantly, for home defense.
Okay.
So for the average citizen, they can get a can of mace or they can get a Glock. And there's really very, very little in between. Now, of course, there are 150 million gun owners, so there's a lot of gun owners that have, a lot of Americans have decided that a Glock is the right form of self-defense. But even within that group, and I have to admit I am a gun owner and I do own a Glock, but I have no desire to kill anybody, even somebody that comes onto my property. I would love to have something that falls in between, something that could effectively incapacitate somebody, that could give me 2 or 3 or 4 minutes to get out of my house safely. And I think there's a whole group of people that would never own a gun, but would own a less lethal device if it could be proven effective. So we will be introducing a new, less lethal, what we call personal security device this Christmas.
Okay.
Just in time for Christmas. So this is a stocking stuffer.
That's right, yeah. I don't know about that, but maybe.
Look, it will be an effective launcher. We're going to be introducing a home defense version that will wholesale for $150 and will be retailing for about $250 through one of the big box stores, which we can't name at this time. And then we'll be issuing a professional edition, which we think will also be used by private security. So this professional edition will be able to shoot rounds accurately at 200 feet. It will be a very, very sophisticated piece of equipment, and it will fire something called PAVA. PAVA is a combination of tear gas and pepper spray. And the impact that this has is it causes temporary blindness. It also causes victims or assailants' throat to seize up.
Okay.
So that they can't see, they're gasping for air. And again, like the kinetic rounds, it gives you 90 seconds, 120 seconds, 180 seconds of time to get out of the house, to escape the threat. The market for this is enormous. There are 120 million households. Is the addressable market 1%? Can we sell 1.2 million of these launchers? And there is a certain amount of razor and razor blade aspect to this, because once you sell the launcher, you're also, of course, selling the rounds.
Right.
And people will want to be using the rounds for training, in addition to the rounds for self-defense.
And you've got some help out of South Africa for this part, too.
You know, it was very interesting. The problem was always, how do you get outside the ATF purview? So in other words, you have something that's not considered a gun, and yet have a weapon that's accurate. And part of the thing that makes it a gun is the rifled barrel. So we wanted to have an air-fired launcher without a rifled barrel, essentially a paintball gun.
Right.
But something that had accuracy, something where you could shoot it at 100 feet with a high degree of accuracy. In order to do that, we had to have a finned projectile. Okay. And in fact, I think I may have a finned projectile here in my pocket, and I don't know if this could really be seen.
Yeah. So that's what it is right there, eh? There you go.
But this will be filled with PAVA.
Okay.
And 12 of these will fit into a magazine, and being hit with one of these will be incapacitating. Being hit with 2 or 3 of these will be downright uncomfortable.
Not fun.
Yes, not fun. So we expect to have this for the professional edition, and again, that we hope to have out in the first quarter of next year. This was a patent by a South African inventor that we bought, and we brought his team on board, and we have a technology center now in South Africa. They just sent me a very, very cool email this morning of a 40 millimeter round, a larger kinetic round that they built using that same patented technology.
Wow.
To allow us to fire rounds out of smoothbore barrels, and again get outside the purview of the ATF by creating weapons that cannot be used by terrorists to fire high explosives.